Welcome back to Reading Bear. Today, we will take a look at some new IDontWorkHereLady stories. And if you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comments. Let's go!
The next one is titled, My Wife Saw It Happen. There's something about the way I look, dress, act that causes people to assume I work here, wherever I am at the time. It's happened at restaurants a few times, Office Depot more than once, at a fancy resort in Hawaii, but it happens most often at Home Depot. It's become an ongoing joke with me and my wife. I have told her dozens of times about these instances, and we are both entertained. But she rarely sees it happen firsthand. Yesterday, we were at a Home Depot picking up plastic storage bins. She and I together, pulling bins off the shelf and loading them into a cart. An older lady approached me. "Oh, excuse me, where do you keep your bug spray?" Me, "It's in outdoors, right over there." Oh, thank you. Also, I have these little fruit flies in my house. What do you recommend? Me, put a splash of wine in a glass. Add 2 drops of dish soap. Cover the top with saran wrap. Poke a couple holes in the saran wrap with a toothpick. The bugs will be attracted by the wine, go inside, and not be able to find their way out. The soap will help them drown by breaking the surface tension on the wine. Oh wow. Thank you so much for your help. The whole time my wife stood there like WTF. After the older lady left, my wife told me how amazing it is to see this happen in real life, and how quickly I transformed from a customer to an employee. I don't even bother to tell people I don't work here. The next one is titled, Ex-Employee Chews Out a Karen. I wasn't sure where this Karen story belonged, but decided to post it here in honor of its hero, who most definitely doesn't work here anymore. So, for some context, this story involves me, a nice lady, a Karen, Karen's husband, and a guy who used to work there. We'll call him Adam. But he's actually my hero. Also, I'm obviously a trans guy, which did not help. I work at a large hardware store as an appliance associate. We wear orange aprons, so I'll let you figure out where that is. Now, I don't usually work in flooring, but the regular flooring guy was on break, so, after the nice lady asked me to get something down from the overhead for her, I headed over there to help. Seeing Karen and Adam standing at the carpet cutting machine, not together, I tell them I'll come help them as soon as I was done with the nice lady. After about 2 minutes, I returned to the carpet cutting machine to find Karen gone, leaving me to talk Adam through what would be best for him to get for his project. Just as I'm getting ready to roll out the carpet we decided on, Karen comes stomping back. "Karen, there you are." "Adam, it's alright man, take care of her first. I'm not in any rush." Me, "How can I help you, ma'am?" "Karen, I need 60 feet of AstroTurf." "How ducking hard is that?" I start rolling out her carpet. "You should have just done that to begin with. Are you stupid or something? All of you people are lazy good for nothing retards." "Adam, ma'am, there's no reason to talk to him like that. He's just doing his job." "Karen, not ducking fast enough, not that it's any of your business. You need to stay out of our conversation." Adam, obviously done with her BS, "Look, he's just trying to do his job and you're acting like a witch." A verbal smackdown ensues until my manager, we'll call her Debbie, walks over to intervene. "Manager, is there a problem?" "Karen, I was just having a conversation with this lady," points to me, "and he started being rude. You need to handle it." Manager, "Ma'am, he doesn't work here, I don't know what you want me to tell you." My manager proceeds to try and talk the woman down while I roll and cut her carpet. By the time I had her carpet ready, her husband had arrived with a cart to load it up. Then, thinking everything was over, my manager walks away and I turn to Adam to get him his carpet. That's when I realized that Karen had been telling her husband what happened. Husband, storming out to Adam, "Did you call my wife a witch?" Adam, shrugging, "I said she was acting like a witch. There's no reason to talk to associates the way she did." Husband, "You need to learn some ducking respect. You can't talk to customers like that." Adam, "I am a customer. Which means I can say the things everyone else is thinking, but can't say." Then, the husband tried to fight Adam before my manager came back and escorted the couple to the front. Come to find out, Adam used to work there, and loved the opportunity to tell customers everything he'd never been able to when he worked there. I've never been so satisfied. The next one is titled, Heavy Story. If you look for wholesome content, please scroll past it. I'm neither sure if this is the place to post it, nor if I should do so in general, but I just can't keep it in anymore. I truly hope I will not get in any way recognized, but at this point I find it unlikely enough to be willing to share this story here. And if it does come back to bite me, then, well, maybe it should. The thing happened in early 1990s. The relevant historical background to this is that Poland haven't really left the communist bloc just yet. First, free elections happened in 1989, but the process of escaping Russian influence, basically only doing what Moscow or their minions told them to, took a while, and at the time of the story the police wasn't necessarily used to doing its job properly. One of such poorly handled cases was the abuse of my next-door neighbor's daughter. I will spare you most details, just know that the worst thing you can imagine happening to a young girl in such scenario did in fact happen many, many times. They were horrible, horrible people, and I hated them with all my being. I can't stress that enough. To the story. A couple years later, after I have already moved away, I was visiting my family, and since I was a little early, 6 a.m., I stopped at a gas station I once worked at to chat with my old pals and wait for the sun to get a little higher. We were sitting in a little nook behind the counter, and lo and behold, who would come in if not the aforementioned neighbors, N. He pointed at something and went back out to fuel their car. She approached the counter, noticed me and snarked, "N, you're back here? I guess your studies didn't go that well?" Me, actually I did. N, ye, sure, whatever. How much did he go for? Colleague, 100. N, I'm asking him. Me, I didn't come back to work, I'm just visiting. N, stop lying to me, you're just ashamed that you failed in life. Now come and inflate our tires. Now. Unlike you, we don't have all day to sit and chat. I was so pissed. I legitimately hated them already, but this encounter, after so much time of being away from them, just completely took me off balance. I told my friends it's okay, I'll just do it. I went with her. I inflated one side correctly. I overinflated the other side so much I thought the tire was going to explode in my face then and there. They weren't even paying attention to me. The second I was done, and before I could even realize what I have just done, they took off. They crashed a few kilometers down the road. They both died. I have never heard of any investigation reaching the station. The next one is titled, "Sure, I can help you find the creamer." I wanted to share a wholesome story here that's from a few years ago. I was walking into a big grocery store chain to start my shopping. Now I'm like most folks, I start my trip with my headphones in before I even left my car. However, I can typically tell, due to hyper-anxiety, when someone tries to get my attention. When I walked through those big double doors, I stopped to check my list to see where to begin and saw someone looking at me out of the corner of my eye. I look up, and there's two guys standing there. One looks like he might be blind in one eye, and the other was staring at the floor. I popped my headphones out of my ears, and, "I'm sorry, what did you say?" Do. Can you help us find the creamer? Of course I pause for a second, because I don't work here, and I don't want to give them the idea that I do. However, being an avid coffee drinker, I do know where the creamer is. Plus they seemed very sweet, so I thought, why not? There was something off though. I thought maybe one or both of them might have some kind of disability, and I didn't have it in my heart to say no. I walked them both straight over to the creamers, showed him the different kinds and brands and told him which one was my favorite, and wished them a wonderful day. The one who stared at the floor never said a word to me, but I did hear the first guy repeating the info I gave him to the one that stared at the floor as I walked away. I'd never seen them before and haven't seen them since. I did call my mum afterwards though and relay the information to her, and she told me that they likely were part of a home for people with mental disabilities, and that one of their tests to see if they can get their own place is the ability to go out and buy something without incident, like creamer. I almost hope it was, so that maybe I helped those two pass their test, but either way it's one of the fondest I don't work here stories that I have. The next one is titled, "Ma'am, I am not your Uber driver." Context: my parents recently built a hotel that rhymes with chariot. I am there quite a bit because my girlfriend is the general manager, but I don't work there as I hate the hospitality industry with a fiery passion. Also, I drive a 2018 Maserati and wear a full suit daily. One day I pulled into the driveway of the hotel to wait on my girlfriend to pick her up from work. It was an especially rainy day for the area. I live in West Texas and it doesn't rain too much, and I see two women in their late 40s to 50s in the entryway. I'll call them Karen and non-Karen. I'm minding my own business listening to a podcast when all of a sudden Karen starts banging on my back window yelling, "Open the damn door." I look back thinking WTH is going on? And reach in my glove box to grab my pistol. I have my concealed carry license and roll my window down thinking she is in trouble and needs help. For context, the hotel is within a 1/4 mile of a halfway house and we always get shady people and drug dealers outside. I proceed to ask her, "Ma'am, can I help you?" Karen replies with, "Yes, open the door, you are the worst damn Uber driver ever, I am giving you a 1-star rating." Lucky I am not quick to anger and not an Uber driver, but if I was I don't think it would be the right thing to start off as a rider being this rude. I realize there is no danger, so I put up my pistol away and calmly reply to her, "Ma'am, I don't drive for Uber, please stop hitting my car." At that moment my GF calls asking me to come inside to help her carry out her things. As I am talking to my GF, Karen goes back inside sheepishly and I park my car. As I walk inside, non-Karen promptly apologizes for Karen's actions, saying she's sorry. Karen thought I was their Uber driver driving a Ford Focus. I laugh and say no problem, Karen never apologized. The next one is titled, Do you have any idea who I am? I do. Do you know this man? So this one was years ago and will need a little setup. I'll try to make it so I can't be so easily identified, but will also try to give enough detail that can be checked up on, as it involves a reasonably famous individual. Therefore I have no doubt people may be skeptical. So, for years I lived in Kennebunkport in Maine, USA. It's very much a holiday town and gets busy in the summer. Now as the summer period starts, a very special guest would arrive in Kennebunkport, as they had a holiday home at the northern end of town on a small peninsula. The 41st President of the United States, the late George Bush Sr. The flags and banners used to come out, "Welcome back, Mr. President." There were plenty of restaurants in the town, many owned by the same company, and the president used to dine with us a lot. So, one day I was wiping down the bar. It was a quiet day and we only had a few people dining. Behind the bar is a huge fish tank, so you can see through the tank to the front door. I saw a lady walking across the drive, well dressed and straightening her skirt. I placed the cleaning stuff under the bar and awaited the lady. Me, may I help you? Karen, I hope so. Is the order ready? Me, am not aware of any order, but I'll have a check with the kitchen. Can I take your name? Karen, you don't even know who the hell I am? What an embarrassment. She would go on to tell me that she was here for an order of oysters and clams for the presidential compound. Now this wasn't unusual, the president often got complimentary oysters whenever he would dine with us. Plus, we would often send food up to the compound, but it was never this lady and never a sole person who would pick it up, certainly not on foot, and we knew the cars they used. I could not get a single word in. She berated me for a while. I'll have your job, or is this the disrespectful, shambolic service you always provide, and the usual crap. Then she spies the gentleman behind me, full suit, very smart, who has come to see what the commotion was all about. Karen flicks her head his way and utters, "You, come here." Karen went into her rant to be stopped 10 seconds in as the man in the suit gestured for her to come through into the back dining area. Suited man, "Madam, will you just step this way please and we can resolve this. Now I don't work here but..." On the other side of the wall she saw George Bush, Barbara Bush, a few guests who were dining with us. I should mention, though you probably know, ex-presidents who were in office before 1997 were provided Secret Service agents to protect them and their family for life. Obama brought this back in making George W. Bush the first president to have lifelong security since 1997. One of President Bush's agents was sat in the corner. The other one was the well-dressed man by Karen's side whom she had incorrectly assumed was my manager. Her face went white and she ran. Sort of, she had heels on. She stumbled and headbutted the front door, before stumbling over the driveway like a newborn deer trying to walk for the first time. The president's staff just let her go, simply asking for a copy of the CCTV before they left. According to one of my bosses, the lady was picked up by the sheriff's department, charged and fined a few months later. I think there was some form of fraud charges. I had nothing to do with it after she ran out. Our managers dealt with most of it. Like I said, a larger company owned most restaurants in town. We only got snippets. Apparently attempting to steal products and defraud a business by way of claiming to work for an ex-president of the United States is frowned upon in Maine. So yeah, she didn't work on the president's team. She worked at Walmart in a town called Wells, up the coast. Just wanted to try her luck and had probably heard that the president dined here when he was in town. I believe she lost her job there and was arrested and fined a few months later. The next one is titled, Lady asks me to move cars so she can park. So I worked part-time to help an elderly fella unload his canoe into the water off his car because it was heavy and he didn't want to hurt himself or his car doing it alone. One particular day I was wearing a green button-up and cargo shorts, which admittedly a very stereotypical forest ranger looking attire. As I had finished helping out the elderly fella, we'll call him EG, I went over to the bathrooms located pretty far away. Now, the place was packed full of people and cars, and this family was driving around in circles trying to park. As I'm walking to the abyssal depth that is a forest bathroom, the toilets that just have a massive hole to dump in, the woman from the car I'd saw earlier started grumpily walking to me. Then she just stopped right next to me with a livid look on her face. BL will be witchy lady, BM will be witchy man, and me will be, well, you know. Me, did you need something? BL, yes, I need you to move some of these cars right now. My family has been driving around looking for a parking spot for hours. Me, what? I just stood there trying to process what she'd just said. She was talking real fast. BL, you heard me. Snap to it. She double snapped her finger at me for real. Finally I process what she said. Me, lady, I can't do that. BL, why not? I swear you kids are so disrespectful. Me, 1, I don't work here. 2, I don't think anyone could do that legally. BL, I don't care, I saw the tow truck up the road and I want you to move these vehicles right now. Me, lady, I just told you I don't work here. At this point a couple people started to tune into the conversation, one dude even started filming. BL, I know you work here. You're wearing the outfit, move these cars now. I was starting to get pissed off at this lady. I just wanted to go to the bathroom and go on a calm trip on the lake with EG. Me, listen ma'am, I don't even know how to drive, let alone tow something. At this point her husband finally got a parking spot and came over to see what was up. Oh duck, BM, what's going on here? Before I could even open my mouth the witchy lady cuts in first. BL, this butt refused to help us park. He's very disrespectful. BM, listen punk, yes he actually said that. You'd better apologize right ducking now, it's your job to help us. Pretty sure it's only a forest worker's job to do upkeep around public areas and stuff like that, so no it wasn't. Me, I don't work here dude. BM, bullpoop, you're wearing the uniform. BL, liar. Me, I'm not apologizing, your witchy wife came up to me, asking me to do poop, I can't. BM and BL are astonished by my outburst and just stand in shock. EG comes over after hearing all the racket. EG, op me, you okay over here? I need help with the ice chests. Me, yeah I'll be right over, sorry EG. BL, so you're gonna help him and not us? How rude are you? EG, what? What's going on op? Me, they think I work here and wanted me to tow cars away so they could park. EG just looks perplexed by this and stares at the couple. EG, he doesn't work here, he works for me, now can he please come help me? This finally spins the cogs in their heads enough for them to space out, in which time I take my leave. Thanks for hearing my rant, sorry about the formatting too, I'm on mobile and this is my first refit post, and to all the retail workers who put up with this poop, that's for hanging in there. The next one is titled, Soldier Mistaken for Gas Attendant. Not sure this is the correct place for this story, but a little background, this happened about 16 years ago. My cousin was on leave and since the army base he was currently stationed was about 20 miles away, I was the closest family member to him. We hanged out a lot when we were kids, so we'd go do things when he got a weekend or how many days he was allowed. My cousin had the habit of not bother to change into civilian clothes and just wear his normal fatigues. My cousin had a bit of a way how he reacted to certain types of people. Now the story. Well, we had a fishing trip planned and we took my truck. Stopped at a gas station to fill up and grab snacks and drinks. Already had all the fishing gear and camping gear in back of the truck. The gas station was near 2 hotels, one catered to more well-to-do type of people. Anyways, I went inside to get the food as he pumped the gas. I recall hearing a car horn blaring as I paid for my purchases and for the gas. I know there's a pay at the pump, but I like getting a receipt. As I came out there were only 2 vehicles at the pumps, my old truck and just behind it was a Lexus. At the other pump the older woman, guessing mid-40s, was at the wheel of her car. One hand hitting the horn while her left arm was flailing out the open car window. Between car horn blasts, she kept yelling, "Attendant! Attendant!" She had one of those accents that seemed to me to be a little snobby. I saw my cousin just wave at her and raised his hands to his ears as if to suggest he could not hear her. She finally stopped honking and got out of her car. She was demanding he'd do his job and give her some gas. He gave her a thumbs up, smiling friendly at her. She huffed, saying something about how some people are just so stupid, then got back into her car. This station has big red signs with white lettering that read, "Self-service." There's no gas attendants here to pump anyone's gas. My cousin, grinning from ear to ear, walked right up to her car window, turned his back to her and let loose a loud frump. Yep, he farted in her face, saying, "There's your gas lady." I got into the truck and he got in the passenger's seat. Both of us just drove off. I could see her in the rearview mirror. She was out of her car, just hunched over, don't know if she was gagging or. My cousin has some truly vile gas. I told my cousin I posted this story and he told me what I did not see beforehand. After he had finished pumping gas in my truck, she honked to get his attention. When went to ask what she wanted, she had told him to put premium in. He had told her twice that he doesn't work for the gas station. When he was walking away from her car, that's when she started blaring the car horn. The next one is titled, I Speak English. Backstory: I'm an Asian female in her 40s who was adopted at birth by white people in the US. In short, I don't speak any East Asian languages, but in the last decade or so I've been trying to get in touch with my roots and I often visit East Asian supermarkets. Me, C1, Crazy Lady 1, C2, Crazy Lady 2 employee. I was shopping at an Asian supermarket and staring at the fish and meat section of the supermarket. If you've never been to an Asian supermarket, they usually have a hardcore fish and meat section. I go there to get some food and watch a show as they butcher, steam, fillet and get into grand discussions with the customers. I had my basket and was leaning against a display of big cans while watching the amazing fishmongers debone a mega-sized fish when I saw a couple of not Asian women staring at me. I figured they wanted what I was leaning on. Me, sorry, do you need these? C1, do you speak English? I might add that my first words to them were in English. My mind just stalled for a few seconds and that was enough for the second lady to start chiming in, doing that if I speak louder they'll understand me better thing. C2, I know how to talk to them. Ni hao. Can you help? US. Me, I don't work here, but what do you need? C1, we want shrimp chips. Me, okay, I know where those are, right over in the second area through the doorway. I point towards the area. C1 and 2 had apparently decided I didn't understand English. So they started talking about me, in front of me. C2, what a witch, she's not going to even show us where they are, is she? C1, what can you expect from those types, she's lazy, didn't you see her just standing there doing nothing? At this point my brain finished its error check and reboot cycle and I got pissed. Me, excuse me? I don't even work here and you come up and start yelling at me? The women looked at me like I grew another head. C1, well, how should we know, you all look like you work here. C2, at least learn English. I don't know what the look was on my face, but I started to walk towards them with murderous intent and they turned around to book out of the grocery store. The employees, who had all stopped along with the customers to watch, began to clap. Not loud claps, but they all watched the women and clapped. C1 and 2 ran out of the store. 1 second later it was like someone hit play and everything just went back to how it was before. The next one is titled, Can you go find someone for me? So this was back toward the beginning of quarantine. I'm a delivery guy for a sandwich chain, so my hours got cut, but I worked through the whole time. I live and work in a bit of an upper middle class area, which I could only afford by renting a place with 3 friends. This is imperative to showcasing the sense of entitlement in this story. So I'm delivering to another, high-end-ish chain restaurant up the road, which is pretty common. I walk into this place, and there's no one at the counter or registers, but there is a middle-aged woman and what I can only assume to be her daughter in the lobby, looking very annoyed, waiting to have their order taken. The woman looks at me, dressed head to toe in my uniform, which literally has my company's logo and name printed all over it. She turns and proceeds to ask me, do you work here? I stared at her blankly for a second, unsure if she was joking, and very slowly answered, no. I work at XYZ. I looked down at my shirt and pointed to my hat. She burst out in an uncomfortable laugh, then asks me, can you go get someone? We've been waiting here for a while. I kind of laugh and reply with, again, I don't work here, and I know for a fact that this place has limited staff due to an international pandemic, just like every other restaurant right now. I walk past her to the side counter that overlooks the kitchen, deliver the manager his food, and leave. She looked incredulous, as if I was supposed to speak to the other food service workers in a completely foreign company about anything regarding their business. As if it was below her to do it herself. I can't stand people sometimes.